Hey guys, I never thought I'd see the day, but it looks like Battlefield might finally be back. After the flop that was Battlefield 5 and the failure of 2042, we might finally have something special. They're finally going back to the modern era, which we haven't seen in over a decade now, which is kind of crazy to think. Battlefield 4 came out in like 2013. I have gotten my hands on this game via Battlefield Labs, so I will talk a little bit about that. But from what can be seen from the reveal earlier is that it actually seems like it's sort of a spiritual successor to Battlefield 3. I say that because 4 more of had a naval focus, and Battlefield 3 had a good variety of sort of large all-out warfare, as well as close quarters battles modes. So let's first take a look at all their all-out warfare modes. So there's their big team kind of battle stuff. We have, of course, Conquest, Breakthrough, Returning, the classic Rush, and a brand new mode called Escalation, which we really haven't seen anything of yet. But you can pause and read the description there if you'd like. The devs at least seem pretty excited for it at least. And moving on to our smaller team close quarters modes, we of course have Returning Team Deathmatch, Domination, Squad Deathmatch, which is basically like a multi-team deathmatch just with squads, and King of the Hill, which is basically Hardpoint. And I actually don't remember this in any previous Battlefield, but maybe it was in a more recent one. They're also bringing back the classic class system, and what's a little bit different this time around is they sort of merged medic and support into one. So the LMG guy can drop ammo and revive teammates faster and drop healing, it seems. But the classes to me seem more like sort of Bad Company 2-esque, which is actually really cool. And what they talked about the maps this time around, unlike 2042 where there was lots of wide open space, this time around the maps actually have good cover and good density, so you're not just running through open fields all the time getting shot. Speaking of all the maps, here's all 9 of them for launch. Keep in mind that even though there's only 9, it is actually quite a lot because Battlefield maps are huge, and they've designed these specifically to be able to be broken up easily into smaller sections for these smaller team modes, depending on whatever game mode you're playing. And of course, it's really cool to see New York be featured in some of these maps, very reminiscent of MW3, and we got Operation Firestorm remastered from Battlefield 3, seeing it once again. So that's really cool. I do hope to see Operation Metro sometime, and I really wouldn't mind seeing Damavan Peak come back also. They really fixed up the destruction from it kind of lacking in 2042, and it's really back and better than ever, and you can just see it for yourself in a lot of the footage and gameplay. Now, talking about movement, because I have played a little bit of Battlefield Labs. I only played like 3 matches, but from what I played, it felt a little bit like Modern Warfare 2019 in terms of just sort of weight of your soldier and movement overall. But of course, they improved upon that and added some more of the Battlefield features that we've come to expect and were hoping for in this game. So for example, there's no tack sprint, it's just classic good old sprinting. There is sliding, and there's also diving. You can dive in multiple directions. There's also omnidirectional prone, so you can lay on your back and prone all around. What's nice to see also return is crouch sprinting, which I've always appreciated if you want to be a little bit more sneaky or hide behind cover and still be able to sprint. And I believe there's also mounting and sort of contextual leaning. They did announce with a little teaser trailer that there's going to be a battle royale, and it's going to be coming to Battlefield Labs soon enough for players to be able to test early. But the rumor right now is that this battle royale is going to be free to play. I know some people are worried about cosmetics and wacky cosmetics, but they're keeping it really grounded and modern realistic. They said there's not going to be any crazy skins, and it's going to all fit kind of the theme of the game, which is at least nice to see. Battlefield Portal is coming back, and this time around they're actually having full-on custom map making. So players will be able to make their own maps, host their own servers in Portal, and have their own settings and stuff, whatever they prefer, so that's going to be really cool to see. And of course, full progression. We unfortunately don't know if there's going to be a server browser in Battlefield 6, but at the very least, there will be one in Portals, and Portals will have full XP, so you can still rank up while playing some of these sort of custom servers. And they even showed off like wacky new custom game modes you'd be able to create in Portal as well. And unlike 2042, it seems this time you're actually going to get a decent bang for your buck of that $70 price tag, because there's actually going to be a full single player campaign now on top of all the multiplayer stuff going on, which was actually missing from 2042. What is actually cool about the campaign campaign this time is you're going to be playing as an elite squad of Marine Raiders, which is really cool, fighting the fictional Pax Armada mercenary group. Now, unfortunately, that means in the multiplayer, you are playing as NATO versus the fictional Pax Armada, and honestly, I think a lot of us classic Battlefield players do prefer having actual nations fighting each other, like, US versus China, for example. With all their proper uniforms and outfits, would have been nice to see, but hey, I guess we can't have everything, right? Okay, so now let's get into the beta kind of info they dropped. So here's the PC specs if you're interested in checking this out, just to sort of judge how well your PC can handle Battlefield 6 in general. So it looks like you're going to need something a bit mid to higher end this time around, but overall pretty manageable, I'd say. They announced that the open beta is going to have an early access starting August 7th through the 8th, and this is for people that basically have a code to play it. But if you signed up for Battlefield Labs at any time before, I think, July 29th, you automatically get access into this. So that's really cool, actually. If you guys do not have that access and you would like a code for this early access weekend, let me know in the comments and I'll pick someone at random and send you guys a little code, because I do have one extra. But of course, if you're fine with waiting, weekend 1 and 2, August 9th and the weekend of August 14th, it will be an open beta for everyone to play. We also got a look at some of the beta rewards, so if you actually play during these weekends, it looks like it's only during the open weekends, but if you play, you can earn all these cosmetics here, which aren't too outlandish and, like they said, kind of fits the theme of the game, right? But I do think that's pretty cool and gives you a reason to at least play the beta if you do plan on getting the game, because you'll have some extra cosmetics. Speaking of those cosmetics, they showed off the pre-order bonuses here. So if you just pre-order, you get the little tombstone pack in the bottom right, which is sort of based off the Battlefield 4 campaign characters, it looks like. And the best sort of like $100 edition of the game comes with all this other stuff. I do actually really like the blacked out Phantom Squad soldier skins. So hey, if we check out the beta and we fully do like this game, I may actually get this version just to get some of the cool stuff personally, because from the beta we should be able to tell how the game is overall, right? I mean, even in 2042 you could tell that it was a bit buggy and we were all just hopefully they fix it for launch, right? So as long as there's not that going on, this game seems pretty much finished right now during the creator playtests that have been going on. So it still seems pretty solid and not glitchy, buggy, broken, and feels good to play. Then I think we might be sold on it. And finally, Call of Duty has proper competition again. But yeah, guys, community sentiment around this seems to be pretty positive, and all the creators that have played it, each one got to basically play it for 4 hours yesterday. And even some of the most critical fans have been quite optimistic to this, and I have to say, even I am. I'm honestly glad we're finally getting a grounded military shooter on next-gen platforms, because even though Battlefield 4 is still around and playable, it's kind of dying off these days, right? I should mention also the devs have emphasized that they're really trying to bring back hardcore Battlefield fans, because they've really been trying to cater this to them. I will say the one thing that they do kind of seem iffy on is the class-based weapon system. So they seem to be indecisive on locking certain weapons to certain classes like old school Battlefield, and they said that they're just going to have 2 separate playlists for that. So with their new system of being able to use any weapon with any class, and the classic system of weapons being locked to certain classes. So I do think it's a bit odd that they might be splitting up the player base like that, but I do think they should just pick one and stick with it, but we'll just end up seeing what happens. But anyways, guys, let me know your guys' thoughts on all this in the comments down below. Are you excited for Battlefield 6? Is Battlefield finally back? And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.